Good afternoon. Welcome on into another session of From Day One. The courtrooms are ready with a sovereign citizen who wants to make a train wreck of their court appearance.
On that day. Subsequently, she was allowed to withdraw. So I don't know that I need to see any of those emails. I will deny the request for an indigency hearing because I agree that you were represented at that time. Even without being represented, you reached an agreement, and the basis of Judge Mangram's order, which ordered you to jail and then suspended that order, is also your agreement, which you and Ms. Oren announced in open court before Judge Mangrum.
I object, Your Honor. I did not agree.
So, Mr. Gwynn, it's okay if you object, but you wait to urge it until I am finished. You do not get permission to talk when I'm talking. I get to interrupt you. I get to interrupt Mr. Powers. That is the prerogative of my office. You, however, nor does Mr. Powers, however, have the right to interrupt me. And if you do it one more time, it's going to delay the process. And none of us wants that. So stop, please, interrupting me. It'll prolong our time together.
I think what she's trying to say is...
Say a word! Oh, and go ahead and put yourself on mute now.
Yes, sir.
Be patient. I'll let you say your piece, I promise. I'm just where I'm coming from so that you can react to what I'm saying.
Yes, Your Honor.
But I can't say it unless you give me an opportunity to do so. So, for those reasons, which is what I'm trying to articulate, I do not believe you are entitled to yet another opportunity to attack collaterally the prior order, and the suspension and the now request to revoke it will proceed at this time. Now, I appreciate that Mr. Gwynn objects to that. His objection to that is noted. Now that we have completed the process of opening statements, we'll move to evidence. As I indicated earlier, Mr. Powers will present his evidence first, and then Mr. Gwynn will have an opportunity to present his evidence, at which time I will make a decision. Mr. Powers, you may call your first witness.
Your Honor, I will ask the court to recall the testimony of Ms. Warren, who's already testified when this case was recessed, that she's received no payments from Mr. Gwynn since January 2022.
I recall that testimony. You asked her one question. She answered it. That was the gist of the testimony, and then she was excused, and then you and Mr. Gwynn and I talked about reset dates and so forth. I recall it. What else?
Yeah, that was quick.
Continue. Call myself as a witness on attorney's fees.
Raise your right hand. I'll swear you in.
You want to be stupid, sir?
Do you solemnly swear or affirm under the penalty of perjury that the testimony you've given this cause will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
We'll take an hour and 15 hour and 20
minutes. State your name.
My name is William Powers. I'm an attorney licensed to practice law.
I'd be online already till like 3-ish.
Sorry about that, folks. It's my sister, but yeah, I definitely agree with her. She's a good night owl, lovely person.
I'll wait till you're outside the park.
She wants to smoke, but she's going outside the park. Back to her case.
The state of Texas. I've been licensed since 1976. I've been board certified in family law since 1988. I'm familiar with the fees charged in Central Texas by attorneys of
with you on that day. Subsequently,
were $1,937, and since that time, we have incurred attorneys' fees.
It's normal $550 in case you're curious.
The other hearings that the court has recited on the docket, in the amount, total amount of $4,575.42.
Just to be clear, when you say July 6th, in order by Judge Harvey, you mean July 6, 2022?
Yep. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And since July 6, 2022, you have incurred $4,575.42 in attorney's fees. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am. And those fees
have those fees been paid by your client?
They have not.
All right, go ahead.
I believe those fees were necessary and reasonable. Given the circumstances of this case, it's been very difficult to get Mr. Gwynn in front of a court. It's been very difficult to proceed forward in this case, and we've had since that July hearing. I can't, and by the way, we're including today's hearing as part of that.
No, it's
Oh, I'm sorry, we're not including today's hearing as part of that. So there would be another $550 for today's hour before the court. And based upon the dockets that you previously read in, I think the court can understand just how much time has had to be devoted to get Mr. Gwynn before the court today.
Thank you.
I'll pass my bill.
Mr. Gwynn, now is your opportunity to ask Mr. Powers any questions regarding the attorney fees that he's testified to this morning. You may proceed.
Okay.
Your Honor, we all wish to remain in voluntary compliance with the IRS.
I'm sorry, do you have any questions for Mr. Powers regarding his attorney's fees request?
Sounds like he's
Yes,
skipping.
I'd like to know if we all remain in voluntary compliance with the IRS.
Thank you.
Doesn't Mr. Powers?
I will object to the relevance of the
I
question.
don't
Thank you.
understand the question, first of all, but I also don't know why, whether or not you or he are in compliance with the IRS is relevant to whether or not I should allow him or should award him, his client, attorney's fees for the work done on the case. So I'll sustain the relevance objection.
Because I'd like to know whose name goes on.
I'm just asking if you have any questions for him regarding the attorney's fees he's requesting today.
Whose name goes on the FinCEN 8300?
I don't know what that is either, and I don't know why it's related to whether or not he's going to get some attorney's fees. So
Because
if
he's
you
an
have
idiot.
questions about whether or not he should be awarded some attorney's fees, you may ask him that question.
Sorry about the technical difficulty. We lost the court appearance. We'll try to get that back tomorrow. Until then, like, share, and subscribe. Be kind of another release to Krakens as we march along this afternoon and every afternoon here from day one. Have a great afternoon.